Yo, what's good with y'all? In today's video, I got how to make still a Brainrot. This is part 6. So in part 6, I got some great things that I know you guys would be excited for. First things first, I fixed a race condition for buying NPCs. If you don't know what a race condition is, it's pretty much where two things. It's a thing with programming where pretty much two things um happen at the same time can cause issues. Like if, like for example, two people try to withdraw money from a bank account at the same time, like from the same account and stuff at the same time. And so I fixed the race condition for like if two players have to buy the NPC at the same time and stuff. Someone reported to me that it would like take away the money for both players, but it would only give like one player the actual NPC. So I fixed it. So now you won't be able to, so that like once one person already has bought it, then it won't, another player won't be able to do the same. I changed the NPC. I spelled that wrong. And or no, I said that wrong. NPC. I updated the price display to work just like the text display, where it rounds, and it's like, oh, instead of 1,000, it'll say 1.0K. Instead of like having a million and having six zeros. I think that, yeah, six zeros. Wait, I might be stupid. No, yeah, six zeros and stuff. It'll just say, 1.0, M and stuff. So I did that. I fixed a major bug. I know a lot of people have complained about this since probably I started the series and stuff. If so, I realized how this problem works because it wasn't affecting me. So if you had, let's say, bases that were far away, like if you have a lot of bases, or if just generally speaking your base was far away from the carpet where the NPCs are, and you bought an NPC, it would try to walk to the spawner. But however, move to by itself does not, without using the proper pathfinding service, it doesn't really, it's not that good at doing long distance, like complex ways. Like it's easy on the track because it's just, it's just walking forward a few steps until it reach, like it's just going in a straight line. This is much more complex movement and stuff. So yeah, if you were dealing with the issue where NPCs were like, they were like stopping halfway or just teleporting midway or whatever, like we're trying to walk to your base and whatnot, then yeah, don't worry, I fixed that and stuff. I just rewrote the whole thing with pathfinding service and stuff. I fixed NPCs, so obviously there were multiple bugs with NPCs, with the stealing system and stuff. I fixed a lot of those. I think majority of them, I fixed. So shout out to these two people down here. They pointed out the bugs from that particular video and stuff. I mean, there are other people who also pointed out the same video. These just so happened to be the first comments I saw, and I took screenshots of them to fix the bugs. So yeah. Um Let me see, I'm trying to think. Okay, so then the next thing we have, so I fixed NPCs being able to steal multiple NPCs at one time. So like if you stole one and you try to steal another one, you can't. It'll only let you steal one at a time. Buying NPCs while stealing one, like let's say you try to go buy an NPC from the carpet while you were in possession of a stolen one and stuff. And then fixed players being able to reset while stealing. I made it so that I just disabled the reset character button and stuff once you try to steal an NPC and stuff. Once you have successfully stolen to the NPC, I've made it so that you're able to reset your character again. If a player leaves while they're stealing and stuff, I made it so that it'll automatically be returned to the player's base, who owns it, base. And then I added something that I know you guys will love, the bat defense system, which is, the baseball bat where you can knock players and stuff, where you can just hit them, as well as prevent them from stealing your NPC by, like you can intervene now instead by hitting them with the bat. And then I'm also planning to mention sound effects because a lot of people have asked about this. So yeah, let's go ahead and get straight into the video. Okay. Do I want to do this first or okay? I'm gonna do this first. I'm gonna mention the thing about sound effects. This has nothing to do with the actual, like, I'm not actually changing anything. So if you guys want to skip this part, you don't you can. This is for people who are interested in doing like playing sound effects or certain things, because I've had multiple people ask me about this. So the way sound effects works, right? You get it from the toolbox and whatnot, just like with animations and stuff. So what you can do is you can insert a sound into the sound service itself. Just be aware that if you do play a sound that's currently parented to the sound service, what will happen is it will play for the entire server to hear. If you want to play a sound to where only the player can hear, you would want to insert the sound into, the local scripts and stuff, right? Or the tool, which is what I did here actually. And I'll get to that and stuff, right? So once you have your sound, right? Once you have your sound, what you pretty much want to do is you want to reference the sound, right? So let's say, again, you don't have to do this. I'm just demonstrating because a lot of people have asked me this. So let's say I need to reference the sound, right? And now keep in mind, right? Just because you enter the sound value, you need a sound ID, just like an animation. You need a sound ID, so make sure you have one, right? So if I want to get my sound, I'm just going to say sound is equal to, then I'm going to reference it. So I'm going to say script.sound, right? Once I have said sound, then all I have to do is just reference the sound variable and then just colon play. It's just like an animation. So yeah, minus the loading part and stuff. So yeah, so that's just how you play sounds. And then you can also stop sounds the same way. So yeah, because a lot of people have been asking me about that. So yeah. Anyway, moving on to the actual content. Okay, so let's head on over. So before we actually get into the scripting, I want to go ahead and cover the bat and animation stuff. Okay, so this is the bat, right? I will drag this over to workspace to show you guys. So this is what it looks like. It's a regular baseball bat. I got the model from the toolbox and stuff. I did customize it and stuff, so I do want to explain it. So literally go to the toolbox, search for a bat. I got a bat. I literally just got the first bat I saw, this bat, right? So to explain how I made it like this, what I did was I simply ungrouped it and stuff, right? So I just took the parts that I needed out of it, the actual parts out of the model, just parented them to the workspace. I deleted that model. I didn't need it anymore. Then I inserted a tool into the workspace. So boom, inserted a tool. I renamed that tool to bat. I then dragged the two parts inside of the bat tool, right? Then you need to, very important, make sure all of the parts of your bat, make sure that they are not anchored. Make sure none of the parts are anchored, and then you need to make sure they're welded together, right? And make sure it's a weld constraint, not a weld. So we're just gonna say part 0 is equals handle, then part 1 is to the bat. Now it's welded together, right? And then that's all you should have to do to be able to, spawn in with the bat. Then there were three things I added. So yeah, so then once you're done with the bat, you can just go ahead and drag that down and place it inside a starter pack so that the player spawns in with it. So there are two things. I have the hit and twing animate. I'm sorry, not animation. Sound effects. Again, I get all my stuff from the toolbox. You can easily get that from the toolbox, and then once you get them, just drag them inside of your bat. The reason for that is because you want these sounds to play locally. Like you only want like the players nearby to hear the sounds, right? So those two, then I got a bat swing animation. Again, I got it from the toolbox. Once you get that, all you gotta do is just click the plus icon, insert an animation, rename it to bat swing animation, and then put in your animation ID. You cannot use mine, you have to use your own, or one you find, whatever, it doesn't matter. But yeah, so you just want to put all this inside of the bat tool. Then once you're done, drag the tool over to starter pack. Very simple. And then I also have one more animation, the fall animation. This is like, my ragdoll kind of animation where like when you get hit with the bat, you fall down to the ground and stuff. Again, just plus icon, animation, name it to fall animation, and then just insert your animation ID and stuff. I got this animation from the toolbox just like I do with all my animations and stuff, right? This is the animation that's going to play whenever the player gets hit by the bats. And yeah, okay, we are good to go. All right, moving on, we can now get into the scripting changes, okay? So let's go ahead and open up our local scripts. And then we're going to scroll up right here to our on-client event stuff. We're going to go down, you're going to go after the notification. So we're going to go after this end. You're going to say else if. Event type is equal to, in quotation marks, you're going to put disable reset, right? Which enter, as you can tell, this is disabling the reset button. So you're just simply going to create a variable for the starter GUI. So it's equal to game, get service, starter GUI, and then you're going to say starter GUI. You're going to say set core, quotation marks, very important. Make sure you type this exactly as I'm typing it, or else this will not work. So reset, capital R, button, capital B, callback, capital C, then comma after the quotation marks, and then you're just going to set it to false so that it's disabled, and then you're literally just going to do the complete opposite. So you can really just copy that. So select everything we just did, copy, paste, and then you're just going to change this from disable reset to enable reset, right? Let me actually put a space in between it, right? And then you're simply just going to change the false to true, right? And then boom, we've added that. Then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to set up the function for using the bat. So since the bat is a tool inside starter pack, it'll automatically be added. So we can just say create a variable for the bat. We're just going to say is equal to player.backpack wait for child. Then the bat itself. Then you will say bat.activated. This is whenever, so this function will be triggered whenever the player left clicks their mouse while the bat is equipped. So connect function, close parentheses. Enter, you will then say if not player dot cooldown folder. This is a folder we're going to create. Find first child. In quotation marks, you're going to put bat m1 cooldown. Enter. Pretty much what the cooldown folder, if it has its value, then that means you're currently on cooldown for the bad M1s. And if not, then it'll know you're not on cooldown and stuff. So keep in mind, this is just a check on the local script and stuff, just to ensure, like, just to save resources, so it doesn't fire the remote event every time, as well as it doesn't play the animation and stuff, despite you being on cooldown. So even if an exporter was to bypass this and still fire the remote event, I'm obviously going to verify this on the server side to ensure that they're not on cooldown and stuff. I'm going to check both client side and server side. This check on the client side is just simply to save resources and stuff. So then you're going to fire the remote event. You're going to say core event, fire server, in quotation marks, you're going to put combat, comma, I imagine I'll be making other combat stuff, so I'm just going to, we're going to then specify the combat type. So we're going to say bat M1, because I don't know if maybe your game will have punches, maybe, so I just want to specify bat M1. So then we'll create a variable, we'll then set up the animation track for our swing, right? So local swing AT is equal to player dot character dot humanoid dot animator. You're going to say load animation, right? Then you're going to say bat. Again, the animation should be inside of the bat swing animation, and then you're going to play said swing animation, right? So boom, we're done with the local script. Then we can move on to the server script, right? Lots of changes to be made here. First things first, you're going to go after the physics service, and then you're going to create a new variable, the pathfinding service. So you're going to say PFS, so the abbreviation. We're going to say game get service pathfinding service, right? Then I'm going to scroll down to our leader stats, which is over here, and then you can really let's see, you can just copy and paste this, the cache and or actually let me do this first actually. So you copy and paste the own unit, so just copy, go after, enter, paste, and then just rename this to cooldown folder. So cooldown folder. Then just select it, Control C, Control V, Control V, Control V, parent it to the player, boom. Then now you can just copy and paste the cache value. So select it, So select it, Control C, Control V, and then just rename this simply to status. This is going to be the status of the player to keep track of whether or not they're currently stealing or not. So then Control C, Control V, Control V, Control V. This is going to be a string value. By default, it should, oh sorry, that's the wrong thing actually. So it should be status, and then the value by default should be an empty string. Empty string means they're currently available, like they can do anything pretty much. And then make sure this is obviously parented to the player, right? Boom. So we're done with that. Then we come down here. Obviously, since we're introducing combat and stuff, we need hitboxes. So you're going to go after the for loop right here that updates the player's collisions inside of the character added function, and we're going to create our hitbox. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to create a variable called hitbox is equal to instance.new in quotation marks part, right? You're going to say hitbox.name is equal to hitbox. Enter. Then you're going to say hitbox.anchored is equal to false. Hitbox.canCollide is equal to false. Hitbox.massless is equal to true. Hitbox.transparency is equal to 1. Unless you're testing, you can change that and stuff. Hitbox.size, you can change this as well. Vector3.new, 5, 6, 2.5. Enter, then hitbox.color, this is for testing, is equal to color3.new, 1, 0, 0, so a nice red. Then you're going to set it C-frame, hitbox pivot 2, and then you're going to say character.humanoid root part.C-frame, right? Then after that, you're going to go ahead and set up the weld constraint to weld the hitbox to the player's character. So weld constraint will be equal to instance.new weld constraint. Then you will say weld constraint.part 0 is equal to the hitbox. Then weld constraint.part 1 is equal to the character's humanoid root part. Then you will say hitbox.parent is equal to character.humanoid root part, and then weld constraint.parent is equal to hitbox, right? Then you're going to go down to the removing function right under it. You're just going to go after all of this. So I want to say, yeah, you're going to just skip those two ends. And then the last thing you're going to do is just update the player status when they're leaving. So player.status.value is going to be equal to left. And then this is for this addresses the fixed players leaving while sailing, right? Then after that, you're going to go down. You're looking for the Oh, my bad, actually. My bad, I went past it. Okay, so after the removing function, we're then going to add this. So before the NPC folder, so before the, actually, on second thought, no, actually, no, this should actually be, actually, where should this be? I'm wondering, actually. Um, I'll bring it down right here because honestly, I may need the NPC folder. I may need the NPC folder to be completely honest. So I'm gonna bring so I'm gonna go after the choose random NPC function. So in between choose random NPC and before NPC move function, right? We're going to say core event dot on server events connect function in parentheses put PLR which is short for the player, comma event type, comma arg1 which is short for argument number 1, enter. Then you're going to create a variable for your player's character, or well, the character, player character. Then you'll say if event type is equal to combat, enter, then specify the combat type. So combat type is equal to arg1, right? Then you will say if combat type is equal to bat M1, enter. We need to, of course, first check to ensure that they're not currently on cooldown. So we'll say if player.cooldown folder find first child bat M1 cooldown, right? Enter. If we find it, then return. Then after that, that means obviously they're not on cooldown if they made it this far, then you'll create the value. So you say bat M1 cooldown is equal to instance.new. This is going to be a number value. This is very important. You're gonna say bat M1 cooldown dot name is equal to bat M1 cooldown. Enter. Then you're gonna say bat M1 cooldown. That value very important. So the value you assign it is going to be the cooldown duration. So whatever value you put is how long the bat. So however long you want your M1 cooldowns to be. I'm gonna say 1.5 seconds. The animation itself is like 1 second. So I'm gonna say the cooldown is 1.5 seconds until the player can swing again and stuff with the bat. But you guys can set this to whatever you want it to be. Then bat M1 cooldown. Make sure you parent it to the player's cooldown folder, right? Then after that, you're gonna say character dot bat dot swing play just to specify so character dot then the bat itself, then you're gonna play the swing sound effect, right? Then from there we're gonna go ahead and set up the raycasting and stuff so we can detect if you make contact with another player. So you're gonna create a variable for the start position. Start position is equal to character dot humanoid root parts dot hitbox dot position. Then create a variable for the direction, which is equal to character dot humanoid root part. Oh my bad, I accidentally put two T's right there. Humanoid root part dot hitbox dot cframe dot look vector. Right. Then create a variable for the raycast params. So raycast params dot new. Then raycast params dot filter type is equal to enum dot raycast filter type dot exclude. Then you will say raycast params dot filter descendants instances is equal to special brackets character get descendants, right? Then after that, you're then going to create a variable for the ray. So ray is equal to workspace raycast, right? And then you're going to say start position, then direction times 5, comma, and then you're going to, put the raycast params. Then after that, you're going to say if ray, so if the ray was, fired successfully, and ray.instance, which means to make contact with an instance. And of course, ray.instance.name is equal to hitbox, enter, right? Then you're going to create a variable for the enemy character, which is equal to ray.instance.parent.parents. Then create a variable for the enemy player as well. So enemy players is simply equal to game.players find first child enemy character.name, right? Then I just thought about something. Am I typing too fast? Y'all let me know in the comments if I type too fast for y'all and stuff. I try not to take too long. So I don't know if I've been typing too fast for y'all to keep up with, but y'all let me know in the comments. Anyway, So from there, then we're going to say enemy player dot status dot value. You're gonna set this equal to stunned, right? So you're gonna say stunned, then you're gonna say character dot bat dot hit. So this is the sound effect. You're gonna say play. You're gonna play the sound effect, right? Then set up the enemy's animation check, which is just them falling. So enemy AT is equal to enemy character dot humanoid dot animator. Then you're just gonna say load animation. In parentheses, you're gonna say script dot fall animation. Then you're gonna say enemy AT. You're gonna say play. Right, you're gonna play the enemy animation track. Then you're gonna make it so the enemy can't move, of course, right? Because they're supposed to be stunned. So you're gonna say humanoid dot walk speed is set to 0. Enemy character dot humanoid dot jump power is also set to 0. Then you're going to say task dot wait. So I'm going to wait 0.5 seconds for, okay, so you may have to change this, right? So for my specific animation, like the falling animation, I'm going to wait 0.5 seconds before I freeze the animation so that like it appears as if the player is just like laying on the ground. You may have to change that wait time. Because then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say enemy AT, and then I'm going to adjust the speed to 0, which pretty much is going to freeze the animation. And that's going to make it look like the enemy's just laying on the ground. Then task.wait, again, you can change this to whatever you want. I'm going to wait for 2 seconds, and then the player can get back up. So then we'll say enemy AT, adjust speed, we'll set it to normal, set it to 1, so that it continues playing. The enemy will get up. Then you'll set everything back to normal. Enemy character.humanoid.walk speed, set this to whatever your game default is. I'm just going to say 16, and then I'm gonna say jump power is 51, but yeah, that's up to you guys to set it to whatever you want. Then of course update their status. So enemy player dot status dot value is equal to an empty string, right? Then you're gonna skip that end. You're gonna skip one end. Then you're gonna set the task dot delay. You're gonna say task dot delay, right? You're gonna say bat m1 cooldown. Bat m1 cooldown dot value. This is why I said it's important to set the value accordingly. This is how long the cooldown is gonna last. Then you set up a function. So close parentheses, enter. Then you will say player.cooldown folder, right? Then you're just gonna say regular brackets, quotation marks, bat m1 cooldown, just gonna destroy, set value and stuff once the cooldown is up, and then boom. Just like that, we have set up the hitboxes as well as the M1s. Okay. Now moving on to the new function. Okay. So I am going to create this function. I'm going to go right before NPC move. So right after that function, we're going to create a new function. It's called toDestination. That's what we're going to call it. It's from one of my old videos from almost 3 years ago. So we're going to say local function. We're going to say toDestination. This is toDestination. Right, in parentheses, we're going to have the NPC, the assigned platform, the player, as well as the specific NPC folder. So lots of stuff. Then enter, right? So this requires us to have to like honestly it's very what's the word for? It's kind of complex because it's like I'm taking code that we used before, but at the same time it's really a lot of old stuff. So it's like it's kind of complex to be completely honest. So like I said, oh, by the way, if you're confused, this is the function that's now going to run whenever you buy an NPC and stuff, so that it does proper pathfinding, so that it can navigate complex paths and long distances and stuff. So yeah, but we're just gonna have to type this from scratch, and I'll just copy and paste what I can to help save some time. But yeah, first things first, we need to create our path. So path is equal to PFS. You guys are about to see why I wanted to avoid doing this because it's a lot more work. You're then gonna say create path, right? Then you're going to create a variable for waypoint. I want to be very specific, right? This variable, I'm going to clarify, this variable has nothing to do with the checkpoints and stuff. That even though they serve a similar purpose, these two are not the same thing. I just want to clarify that, right? So waypoints is you're going to set that equal to nil. Then you're going to set next waypoint and make sure your spelling is very accurate. It's just like mine. Next waypoint is set to 1 by default because we're going to start at 1. Right, then our reached destination function, which is set to nil, and then lastly blocked destination, which is set to nil. Right, then after that you're going to set up a protected call. You're going to say local success, comma, error message is equal to pcal function, close parentheses, enter. Then you're going to say path. Right, you're going to say compute async, and then you're going to say npc.humanoid root part dot position, so pretty much the distances. So because you're going from the humanoid's current position to the assigned platform. So you're gonna say assigned platform dot parent dot spawner dot position, right? Then after all of that, you're then gonna say if success, right? And path dot status is equal to enum dot path status dot success. Enter. Then you will say waypoints plural is equal to path get waypoints, right? Then you will say blocked destination is equal to path dot blocked connect function. Then in parentheses you're going to put blocked waypoint. Enter. Then you're going to say if blocked waypoint is greater than or equal to next waypoint, enter. Then blocked destination, disconnect. And then you're going to just call, so you're just going to call to destination again and stuff. But you don't have to worry about sending this stuff over. Pretty much using recursion, so you don't have to worry. Y'all probably don't know what that is. But anyway, so you guys don't have to worry about sending this stuff over again. It'll work just fine. But yeah, so from there, then we'll skip these two, right? Oh wait, actually no, I don't think it ever actually. Actually, now that I think about it, it never actually. Wait, no, I just lied to y'all. I'm sorry, my bad. Actually, I just lied to y'all. Never mind. Send over all this stuff. I just realized the only reason why I didn't. Yeah, the only reason why I didn't do that was because it was the path was never blocked. Okay, yeah. So just send over everything. Just yeah, everything in the same exact order. So yeah, my bad. But anyway, okay. So then you're just gonna skip the two ends. You're then gonna play the animation track. So or you're gonna set it up first actually. So you're gonna say this is the walking animation by the way. So NPC humanoid dot animator load animation script or not sorry not script NPC dot walk animation. Then you're gonna wait. You have to wait, or else it's going to it'll glitch if you try to play an animation too quickly. But like before they start walking, it'll make it so that the animation doesn't play and stuff. Or like it'll be playing, it'll be considered playing, but it's not actually playing. You won't be able to see it. So then you just say task dot delay. Then you just wait 0.3 seconds. Function close parentheses enter. So you may have to adjust this number. You may be able to lower it or increase the wait time and stuff. If their walk animation is not playing, then just make it wait longer and stuff, right? Just increase the duration or the time, I should say. Then you'll play the animation track. Go outside of that, right? Then we will say if not reached destination, enter, right? Then we'll say reached destination is equal to npc dot humanoid dot move to finished connect function. In parentheses, you're going to put reached, enter, right? You're gonna say if reached. My bad. You're gonna say if reached and next waypoint is less than the total number of waypoints, right? Enter, then you'll say next waypoint plus equal 1. Then you'll say npc dot humanoid move to, right? Then you're gonna say waypoints regular bracket. Then you're gonna say next waypoint go in between. Then you're gonna say dot position, right? Then after that, press enter, and then you're gonna say else if next waypoint is equal to the total number of waypoints, which means that the NPC has made it there. Enter, and then here's where we can copy and paste. So we're gonna scroll down to the by NPC function. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. So the by NPC. So yeah, so all of this stuff after the task.wait, this is all the stuff we need. So you're just gonna copy all that. So just copy that, and then we'll come back to this. So just copy that, go back up right here. Then you're just gonna paste that. There were definitely some changes I made. Hold on. So we stopped the animation track, pivot it, set the collector, update the NPC status. So I changed this to like 0.2 seconds and stuff. Again, this is one of the things you have to play around with and stuff. If your NPC is having problems or like it's getting frozen midair, which pretty much means its human and root part is getting anchored too early, then increase this wait duration and stuff like the delay time. If it's like moving weirdly or whatnot, like it's like not in the proper spot and it's like moved or whatnot, then lower the number. So just mess around with the number until it works. But yeah. So anchor that. We set it to steel. fire client. So okay, so here's the stuff we needed to change. Okay, got it. So you can delete this move function part right here because that was, that's from the old function, right? So you're gonna go here and then you're gonna say reach destination. You're gonna say disconnect. Then you're also gonna say block to destination, disconnect. You're just gonna disconnect all those functions, right? And then we're gonna call the generate. I'm so I am so stupid. I am so stupid, guys. I'm so sorry. I was supposed to create this function after generating money. Okay, so here's what we're gonna have to do. Um, so what I'm gonna do is I am going to move this function because it was actually supposed to be lowered. So I'm gonna pray you guys are capable of doing this because it's really not too difficult. But you're just gonna select everything we just did. So select the entire function, right? The two destination functions. Select the entire thing. Make sure you have the entire thing selected, right? Right. Do that. Copy. I'm sorry. Damn, I can't talk. Cut or copy, then delete, whichever one. Then go after the generate money function. So before the buy NPC function, then press enter and then paste. Right, there we go. So now generate money should work. Yep, there we go. Okay. So then we're gonna skip three ends, right? Then we're just simply gonna say npc.humanoid, move to, and then same thing. Waypoints, regular bracket, next waypoint, dot position. Now this is proper pathfinding and stuff. This is how actual pathfinding works and stuff. A much better way than what I was doing before. I was doing the simple way because this way is a lot more work, as you guys can clearly see. But it's a lot cooler and much more efficient and stuff. A lot less issues and stuff. I may honestly have to switch the way the NPCs walk across the carpet to this as well, because I know there are people that are complaining about issues when like ping gets high and stuff like that. So yeah, and then let me just make sure we're good. Okay, we're good. But yeah, so we are done with updating that function. Now we can move on to the buy NPC function. So oh, did I get that? Oh, yeah, okay. So I did add something here. So you guys see the if right here. So just click the arrow right next to the if statement. Go right before the second to last end. Press enter, right? Then go up, and then you're simply just going to say else. Enter. Then you'll say npc dot humanoid root part dot proximity prompt dot enabled is set to true. The reason for this is so that, like I said, I made it so that like two players can't, like, to avoid issues where like two players try to purchase the same NPC at the same time and stuff. I made it so the proximity prompt is disabled whenever a player buys it and stuff. So this is so that, like, let's say they try to buy it, right? It triggers the function. They try to buy it, but they don't have enough money. Then because by yeah, if they don't have enough money, then it'll just re-enable, right? Oh, that reminds me, actually, I also need to put it right here. So yeah, then you could just really just copy and paste that. So copy that and then go right here, enter, paste that right here. Because also, let's say if the player has the money but they don't have a open platform, then also you need to re-enable it. But yeah, okay. So as for the changes here, I'm pretty sure all this stuff remained. Like I said, aside from that, pretty sure all this stuff remained the same. Yeah, that, yep. The leader stats, the unit value, yep, the unit value, and then we just go down here. Okay, yeah. So you're just gonna click this arrow right here. You're just gonna just grab everything from the move to. So grab everything from the move to down to the move function, and then just backspace, delete that. Then after the unit, all you're gonna do is now just call the two destination function. Then you're just gonna send everything over: the NPC, the assigned platform, the player, as well as the specific NPC folder, and then boom. So yeah, that's how that works now. Then we're gonna go down some new changes to the steal NPC function and stuff. This is to fix all these bugs and stuff. Yeah. So everything we just did, we just fixed this as well as this. Now it's time to add all these fixes. Okay. So for the steal NPC, you're gonna go after so you're gonna go, wait, what am I looking for? Oh, right here. So you're gonna go after we create the stealing character variable. You're then gonna fire the remote event. You're gonna say core event fire client singular. So that make sure you do the stealing player. So stealing player, then comma quotation mark disable reset. So it disables the reset button so they can't reset. Right. Then after that, you're gonna create two variables. So first things first will be the spawn function variable set to no, and then secondly will be the status function, which will be set to no. right? So then press enter, right? And then we're going to set this up. So I believe, hold on, because it's after, yeah, okay, it's after. So we're going to set this function up, okay. So just press enter some more just to give ourselves some space because we're going to set up a function. So we're going to say status function is equal to stealing player dot status dot value, or sorry, not dot value, dot changed connect function close parentheses enter. So this is to account for, let's say if the player is stealing an NPC and they, like I said mentioned in the beginning of the video, they leave the game, or they get attacked, they get hit by the bat, so that the NPC is supposed to return. So we're gonna say if, first thing first, we're gonna say if stealing player dot status that value is equal to left, meaning they left the game, enter, then you will just update the stuff accordingly. So so I know I copy and pasted. I might just have to do this manually for the first part. So yeah, we're gonna say npc dot status. We're gonna turn this back to normal. We're gonna say dot value is equal to active, so it's back to making money. npc dot humanoid root part dot proximity prompt dot enabled is set to true. You're then going to say npc dot humanoid root part dot weld. That's where the weld was, so destroy. So that's no longer welded to the player. And you're going to create a variable for the old platform, just like we did later down below. Old platform is equal to npc dot parent, so then you can return it to where it belongs. npc dot parent, then you're going to pivot it. So we're just going to go down. Just going to go down to the nearest pivot. So this, yeah, that's the same. Okay. I'm just going to copy that, go up here, press enter, then I'm just going to paste that. Make sure, very important, make sure you change assign platform to old platform, because old platform is supposed to be where it's supposed to get, like, that's where, because we're returning it. So that's essentially what we're doing. We are returning it, right? Then you're going to go back down. I'm looking for the thingamajig. Okay, scroll down, keep going, and I think, yeah, right here, okay. Yep, so returning the NPC's text to normal, like the stuff above their head. So we're just oh, this as well. So all this stuff right here. So you can really just copy this part, go back up, and then I'm just gonna press enter, give it some space, and I'm just gonna paste it. So this sets all the text back, so it changes it from stolen back to its name, then with the proper colors, because this is the normal white color, and then you're making it so that all the UI above their head is visible. Then you're going to check to make sure they have the spawn function, because let's say they didn't make it down that far, because if they're inside of this function, obviously the status function exists, but let's say they didn't make it down this far, then you want to check to make sure it exists, and if it does, then you'll just disconnect it. So spawn function disconnect, but the status function should already exist, so you can just say disconnect, right? Then insert. Then after that, you're then going to call the generate money function generate money, so that it can get back to generating money. So npc folder regular bracket npc name dot value, go after that, comma, set over the npc, and then the, again, old platform, not the assigned platform. Then you're going to throw an else if. So else if, now this time we're going to say string player dot status dot value is equal to stunned. So this is what happens. So stunned, enter. So this is what happens after after the NPC, after the player is like attacked or whatnot. So then from that point, if I recall correctly, I literally think I just copy and paste this. Now that I think about it, actually, wouldn't it just make more sense to just say or? Because wait, hold on. I have thought about it. If they're doing they're doing the literal exact same thing. Those three, the old platform, the NPC, the head, and all. Yeah, actually, yeah, yeah. So let's save some time. Actually, sorry, never mind. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this instead, because I couldn't just do status dot change, because your status could change anything else. So we'll say this or stealing player. Yeah, just go up here and just say, yeah. This saves some time, so we don't have to just copy and paste that. So we'll just say or stunned. So either one works. Yeah, either one works and stuff. Okay. That works, because it literally does the same exact, it literally does the same exact thing, so that just doesn't make sense. Then you're gonna go down to find the spawn function we created right here. Remember, we created that up there now, so you're just gonna delete this line right here. So delete that, right? Then you're gonna scroll down, so after it's anchored and we update the status, you're gonna add two new things here. You're then going to say stealing player dot status. You're gonna update the player status dot values equal to an empty string. Then after that, make it so that they can reset. So fire clients, stealing player, comma, and then you're just gonna say enable reset quotation marks. So enable reset, right? And the generate money, that's the same. And then after the spawn function, you'll just say status function. You'll also disconnect that. So disconnect. And yeah. Then moving on, we have our spawn NPC. Now this change, I had to make a. This is very minor changes, to be completely honest. Yeah, this is very minor changes. So first thing first, we have the, like I said, the text formatting for the price display. Since a few people were asking me for that. So you're just simply gonna go after this. I want to say this first line. I think. Yeah. Wait, hold on. This specific NPC. Yeah. Okay. So just press enter. So you're just gonna create some space. So you're just gonna change this. So you're gonna change this to a variable. So you could just really delete this part right here. Right. You're gonna change this to a variable. So you're just gonna say local. Then you're gonna say formatted price is equal to, and then you're just gonna remove the money symbol. You can say, and then you're just gonna leave it at specific NPC folder dot price dot value. Then go to the local script, just copy and paste this if statement right here, right? But actually, we only need the if and else if part. So just copy this. So just copy this part, right? So paste that, right? And then we're gonna need an end. So press enter, and then you're just gonna throw an end right there, right? So then you're just going to just Control C, Control V, replace amounts with formatted price, Control V, right? So, and then you're just going to change, and then you can change this, Control V, right? So it just formats it as need be. So formatted price is greater than that, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, and then you're going to go down here. And then you can just copy and paste one of these lines, Control C, Control V, and then you're just going to change this to price textable dot text is equal to, and then you're just going to put the money symbol, so quotation marks, money symbol, dot dot dot, formatted price, and then boom. So now it'll format the price properly for you guys. Then you're just gonna go down to the prompt function. So right here, you're gonna go right here. So let's say they're trying to buy an NPC from the carpet. You need to, of course, make sure that their status. So player.status.value is set to an empty string, right? This addresses all those issues, stuff, right? And then if they are able to buy it, then you would then say NPC dot humanoid root part dot proximity prompt dot enabled will be set to false so that two players can't try to buy the same NPC at the same time. Then after that, the sell NPC part. So right here, so where we have the else, you're just simply just gonna say else if. So you're just gonna add an if, right? You're gonna say else if NPC dot status dot value is equal to an empty string again, and then just put the word then, right? So boom. After that, you're then just gonna go down where we have the if assigned platform is equal to nil, then return. You're just gonna go after that. So before the steal NPC, so before calling the steal NPC function, then you're just gonna say player dot status. The value is now officially equal to stealing, right? Right before we call the steal NPC function. Then yeah, okay. So yeah, okay, guys, that should be everything. And then that, wow, that took a lot longer than I thought. Okay, so let's go ahead and publish and let's go ahead and test our changes. Okay, so as always, if you guys want access to any one of my scripts or models, you guys can become either a channel member or a Discord subscriber. Link to either one of those options can be found in the description. Okay, so I'm gonna switch to the server side real quick. And then I'm gonna change the price to like just a very big number. We'll just leave it at that. Then I'm just gonna wait for, there we go, 20 million. So there we go. Now it yeah, now it is it properly. So just to ensure, oh, I just realized I don't have 20 million. I don't have 20 million. Okay. So let me give myself some money now. So like I said, now what should happen is if like regardless of where your base is, if your base is like far away and stuff, the NPC should now be able to walk there without any issues and stuff, regardless of the distance. So if I buy the NPC, there we go. It's now walking to my base and stuff. As you can see, it like you're not gonna notice a change Well, except it like, floating in the air. But you're not gonna notice a change in terms of like, actually, no, it's actually kind of cool. Looks like it's like hovering. But anyway, you're not gonna notice a change with like them walking. Like it's pretty much gonna be the same. Maybe like a minor animation. What the hell? Why the hell did he stop? Why did he stop? Oh, somebody brought this up to me. This is what somebody was telling me about this. Oh, this is what they meant. Oh, I see. Okay. Huh. That is very strange. Okay. That is very strange. That is very strange. I don't know why there's, yeah, I don't know why they're, yeah, honestly, I'm probably gonna have to switch to the advanced pathfinding as well because let me just, I'm probably honestly gonna have to switch to the advanced pathfinding as well for this. Because the ping isn't even high, right? Yeah, no, I have 40 ping. Yeah, honestly, I have no idea why they're doing that, but I'm probably just gonna switch to pathfinding and stuff to avoid that because to be honest, people have mentioned this, but I have never seen this before. And for some reason, it only happens to the default ones. That's so strange. Well, anyway, yeah. So as you guys can see, we buy that. So if I go test real quick, right? I'm gonna just test this real quick. I'm not even gonna test every scenario to be completely honest with you. I'm not even gonna test every scenario. I just want to ensure that stealing it just works. Okay. So first things first, right? If I take the bat, so it's gonna take ages, but just give me a second. So if I walk over to player 2, right? I take out the bat. Boom. Right. Oh, there we go. So as you can see, he like falls, he hits the ground. Yeah, falls, hits the um. What the hell? Yo, where's the? Why does he get up? Like, did I forget to put the? Hold on. I think I forgot to put the weight because he's not supposed to get up that quickly. No, yeah, the weight's supposed to wait 2 seconds. Adjust speed 0.5 seconds. Set the speed to 0. Wait 2 seconds, and then yeah. Okay, now I'm confused. Unless it's just the animation, because hold on, it might just be the animation. Hold on, guys. Status stunned. Oh, okay. I don't know what the hell that was. Okay, well, anyway. So stuns the NPC, right? So I'm gonna switch to the server side. I'm going to give player 1 some money. I'm gonna have him go buy. I'm gonna have him go buy an NPC. Then we're gonna have him. We're gonna switch. So if I go buy one real quick, buy. Okay. And the okay. What the hell? What the hell is going on right now? What is going on? I'm gonna have to fix that in the next video. But anyway, so yeah. So now if I try to go steal an NPC, right? If I walk over, I really do not know what the hell is going on with that. I'm gonna have to look into that. But anyway, so if I steal the NPC, right? And for some reason I'm unable to steal the NPC. Okay. What's going on? Player 2 status is it's cleared. Huh. But it's not letting me steal the NPC, and it's not giving me. What the hell is going on right now? Huh. This is very weird, I'm not gonna lie. It's very weird. Um, if Oh, my bad, my bad. Oh, I just realized. Oh, I put I'm so stupid. I put NPC status, my bad guys. It's supposed to say player status. Put NPC status. Okay. Yeah, okay, hold on. So I'm gonna clean up and okay, my bad guys. That's supposed to say player, not NPC status. I do want to test this. I'm not too worried about the NPCs like freezing and stuff because I know what to do to fix that. Well, I think I'm just gonna switch the entire movement process and stuff. I'm just gonna switch the entire movement thing in the next video. I'm just gonna overhaul that because clearly that's not sustainable for a long time use, especially with multiple units. This is not sustainable. So I'm just gonna change that. Okay, so let's buy an NPC, right? Why the hell do they get Oh, okay. Oh, I guess he just changed his mind. Okay. Alright, so now I'm gonna try to steal the NPC. See, I love how like none of this happened before I recorded the video. Like I swear to y'all, when I was testing this, none of this happened. But then all of a sudden, okay, so I can steal the NPC, right? Switch to the other player, grab the bat, watch what happens. Okay, there we go. Then the NPC then returns to my custody. So boom, right? So yeah, and then everything else will work just fine. And then he's back to making money. So yeah, like I said, I will look into fixing this. I don't know why the hell it's doing that. The good thing is it's consistent, which means I should be able to fix it and stuff. But yeah, so I will. Don't worry, I'll fix it by the next video and stuff. Like I said, I'm gonna remake the whole system for them walking down the carpet because clearly this is not working out. But anyway, thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, let me know any bugs you find. I will address them. And yeah, I'll see you guys next video. Thank you for watching.